pjnet.tv, a special pre-recorded edition, but presumably when you see and hear this, it is 9 p.m. on the East Coast. It's important to know what time zone. And we are standing by for Jake McCandless, who is waiting. We will begin a countdown to Studio 10. Well, good evening. Welcome to pjnet.tv. It says so right there. It says so right there. And every month on the second Tuesday, we welcome, behind me, Stand Firm Ministries. Now, who's that? Well, I don't know, but I know who heads it all up. And that would be Jake McCandless, who has arranged to pre-record this because you're... What is it so important that you are doing tonight that you're going to throw PJNet under the bus and not appear live?
I know. So we have a same excuse I had last week. So we've got a new initiative starting within Stand Firm called the Stand Firm Circle. It's a small group network, and so it's a 9-week Bible study done in a small group, done, of course, via Zoom and online streaming. And so you do it for 9 weeks, and then if you want to continue, you can continue, and it's a monthly accountability. And if you would like to turn around and be a leader yourself, then you can lead a group. So we had our first group coming through, and the only night everybody could do it is Tuesday nights. And so that's through this off. But it ends in 2 weeks. This first group ends in 2 weeks. And we plan to have trainers come out of that, leaders come out of that, who are going to be starting groups coming up in May. So if anybody's interested in doing that, we plan to launch 3 to 6 groups in May. And it's been great. It's been awesome. We've actually got 2 groups going right now. And so it's 9 weeks to jumpstart your spiritual readiness. And it's been a real cool process.
Okay. Well, that will end up in 2 weeks. So a month from now, that'll give you 2 weeks to come up with a new excuse. Well,
That's
basically,
right.
You're busy, Jake, and you've already made plans for April.
I'm here for April, right?
No, you have something launching in April.
Oh, we do, yeah. Oh, I just missed
I'm doing my best here.
You lobbed it up for me, and I totally struck out.
That's a slow pitch, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Speaking of slow pitch, I need to pick your brain. I'm now assistant coach of the 8 and under girls softball team. So I definitely need some help as well. Speaking of that, and speaking of kids, so April 25th, we are having our first Stand Firm Kids initiative, Faith That Lasts Parent Summit, and so it's a Sunday afternoon. It's just a few hours, so it's a short virtual summit, virtual conference. It's not tying up your whole weekend, and we're doing this really taking the offense. So I've been on the defense since we started. Stand Firm back in 2012, encouraging people, people are leaving the faith, challenges are coming, let's stand firm. And so it's all on this defense. And so one of the things we always talk about and bemoan is how many of their younger generation, emerging generation, are leaving the faith, leaving the church. And so we just thought, let's quit talking about it, let's do something. And so we launched Stand Firm Kids, which is really meant towards parents and churches to say, hey, we want to come alongside of you, and you're doing everything for your kids to know the truth now. Let's also work towards them having a faith that lasts, and out of that comes this summit. And so I'm really excited about it. So we're going to be talking about looking ahead, but going ahead and preparing now, regardless of what age your child or student may be, to begin thinking about that now. So we've got a great lineup of speakers, and it's absolutely free if you register before April 5th. And it is a fee, goes up to $14.99 after that, and then goes up higher the last week of the last chance registration. So if you're a procrastinator, you're in trouble. But if you're not, if you're on the spot, you can go right now to faiththatlast.com and you can register and be a part of it.
Is there a link to that on your website at Stand Firm?
It should be. No, it's not. It's a separate website, faiththatlast.com. Okay. And as we speak, standfirmministries.com is being redone, and there will be a link at that point, but we're not to that point yet.
Okay. Well, you warned about procrastination. And,
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Well, I'm real bad about that one.
We'll give you a break, Jake. It's all right. Do you know what a Jake break is? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So
Yeah.
give it a break, Jake, not Jake break. There's a difference.
Yeah. Keep the noise down, no doubt.
Yeah, it does. Well, I'm proud of you. I'm rejoicing to hear that you are putting some of the energy and pouring it into the younger generation. That one is they're at an impressionable age.
Yeah.
And the seeds that are sowing it may take 20 years to see that come to fruition, but somebody has to plant the seed. But here's my question. That all sounds good, assuming a reasonable degree of spiritual maturity among the parents. So who's going to learn more as a result of this ministry, the parents or the kids?
It's going to be parents, and that's why we're starting with the parents. You can get 2 with 1, maybe 3 for 1, right? By doing this, because ultimately it comes down to. I saw an example the other day of someone had this huge clear cylinder on the stage full of orange ping pong balls, and they were showing the amount of time that parents theoretically could have with their children. We know the reality of that. And then they had just a little clear bowl over here with a few. It talked about the amount of time that the youth leader or our children's leader at church would have with them. And so as parents, we've got, it's our responsibility to discipline our discipline, disciple, good discipline too, but disciple our children and to teach them, raise them up in the truth. But it's a struggle, and especially in what we're talking about, and we're talking about, not just teaching the truth now, but we have parents who are doing a great job teaching the truth now, churches that are, children's ministries that are, even students who go through that are turning away from the faith at after graduation or even into high school. Early high school is what statistics are. Ken Ham had a book in the early 2000s called Already Gone, which he basically said, keep your kids out of Sunday school because the statistics are no better than them not even being in church. It was basically his hypothesis. And of course, Ken Ham with Answers in Genesis, his solution is let's teach them about creation. It's more to it, and he's right on the things he says. And so, but we're looking at it also, hey, let's look ahead to what's in the future. So speakers very familiar to your audience from Serious Writer that many are involved in. Kyle Young, Cody Moorhead are going to be talking about. Kyle's going to be just reminding us of the opportunity we have with our kid. Cody's does a great job of just having the pulse of where teenagers are. And so he's going to be talking about the challenges that he's seeing within the high school age now. We've got Ryan Scantlin, who's a collegiate minister, Baptist collegiate minister at 5 different campuses. And so he's going to be on board talking about where he sees students, those who are, coming into the college age and, getting involved in a ministry and missions and staying faithful, and the other side of that. And then we've got a speaker coming from Australia via online, Daniel Seckham, who's well respected as far as prophecy teaching, and he's going to talk about just the times that we're in. And so very strange, mixing that world of prophecy and parenting and all that stuff. But it's really like with Scripture, we've got the end of the maze. So as parents, let's look at the end of the maze and see what we can do now to help get to that point.
One of the, I ask this sort of tongue in cheek, but there is something serious here. In parenting skills, I think the best class I ever got on parenting skills, unfortunately, was not the church or some psychologist or, Dr. Bottle Stopper, whoever, dog obedience training. I think every parent should go to dog obedience training classes because it's behavior modification. It's basic psychology. Be consistent. Speak clearly. First command, look. It's not fair to the animal, if they're not looking at you to receive the command, if you don't have their attention. And I thought to myself, how many parents mumble things from another room in the house, or shout things from another end of the house.
Yes.
I think it's good that, that we make eye contact and form and once you get the dog trained, you can no discipline, force is really no longer necessary. Just withholding your affection, just giving them the look. And I know when my father, when those eyebrows kind of, yeah,
Right. Right.
He knew it was coming.
I mean, of course, I see two things with that. I mean, you invest that amount of time in your dog there, and then you're intentional with what you do. And I mean, that's really all we're talking about with any parent awareness training is to be intentional. I know myself. I will have all these ideals. I have all these things that I know is right, I need to do, but then it just gets to laziness or just get on autopilot and just coast rather than being intentional and either continuing discipleship we've already begun or not taking initiatives.
I think you're onto something there, Jake. Intentionality, because you said perhaps laziness, and yeah, it's easy to be to back off a little bit, but I don't really blame laziness. I blame more competing interest. In other words, you're a pastor. That's a full time. That's 100% commitment. You're a husband. That's 100% commitment. You're a father. That's 100% commitment. As you can tell, the math doesn't add up. You've only got 100%.
I'm not good at math. I could tell that's not right. Yeah.
Right. It doesn't take, and and if you're in the military, say you're involved in coaching or you're a policeman or something like that, so that's the extreme case. But even in the everyday life, we've got our work, we've got our social network, we've got our church, we've got our children, we've got, household chores. I don't think I think it's overstating the case to say we're lazy, but I'll tell you this. You've emphasized the point of intentionality. Here's one for you. When I grew up, when we sat down for supper, we all sat at the table and spent 30 or 40 minutes. I wonder what the impact is today on the generation that doesn't do that. There's a lot of bonding goes on around the table, a lot of teaching.
It is. That's something that we do every night. That's just something we've been fortunate, and I got to give my wife all the props for that. And we began something. So I had a big change in my life, which I've shared on here before. I was pastoring full time, and it was a church in a small town, but we had a very large footprint on the amount of people we were in contact with, a lot of different ministries, and I was involved in other things. Stepped away to do Stand Firm full time, and with that drastically changed my schedule. And I was gone a lot, at first, and but it really has allowed me to be a much better husband and father. Just being present, being there. But one thing my wife is, we've always been able to do that around the home. But so somewhere in the mix there, I got to be the sole pickup person for them at school, for my daughters at school. And so the battle to get front in the line to pick them up at school. Actually, I was always last. And it was a small school, so if you didn't get there in that little window, you were completely late and in trouble. So you didn't have much room for error. But anyway, so in the process there, we started something we called the facts. And it was friends and fun, your activity, your class, your teacher, and then a snack. So if you told Dad the facts, you got a snack. And I guess we're going back to the dog training, right? Mm-hmm. And so we started this probably several years ago, because that's been 3 years ago. So about 4 years ago we begun that, and now we do it around the dinner table. And my daughters, they cannot wait to tell the facts. Well, what they don't realize is not only is it starting conversation, but we get into their lives and get to know what they're thinking, get to know about their friends. I mean, otherwise we wouldn't have a clue. You just get bits and pieces here. And so it's been a really cool thing, just to have a plan. And so every time we sit down, it's tell about your friend, tell about fun, and tell about the activity you had that day, and tell about your classwork and your teacher. And typically it just stays at the fun and friend takes most of the time, but it's been a really good thing. And the opportunity just to sit down, like you said, just that time to do that.
How old are your children, Jake?
Yes. No, my oldest is 9 and youngest 7.
Okay. Give you some advice. Yes, picking up the children, it's cool. That's, but I found the secret.
Oh, yeah?
Get a motorcycle. You're no longer at the back of the line. You just scoot around, you get to the front.
Oh, yeah.
And when you show up, your child's popularity just skyrockets because she has the cool dad and picking up in the motorcycle. And I have really fond memories, and it gives you a chance to look forward to something. It's not a burden anymore. It's a fun thing to do because all the kids are goo goo gaga motorcycle.
Okay, note to self: get a motorcycle.
Get motorcycle. It's a part of your responsibilities as a parent and as a minister. It's an investment, and it's a ministry tool. Actually, it is, Jake. I would go on what we call soul patrol. I'd leave. I won't go into all the details, but here's the bottom line. I don't know why, but if you park a motorcycle just to get gas, so many times people will approach you and start a conversation about the motorcycle. It's the best ministry tool I've seen, and I've seen a lot. The little cube, remember that? The cube thing?
Yeah, the Evangel cube. Evangel cube, motorcycle, yeah.
Right, so the
so
motorcycle.
If I do that, if I use it as an evangelism tool like a cube, I can write that off, right?
Write it off. It's part of your
accounting out there.
Get the church to buy it.
Let me know.
Right, yeah. But it's amazing how many conversations I was able to enter into without even trying. And you can't, by the way, drink coffee while you're on a motorcycle. You have to stop at a convenience store to get a cup. So you're going to be kind of hanging out. And invariably, Jake, I'm saying this kind of lightly, but I'm dead serious. You will enter into conversations if you intentionally just take your bike out for a ride. It's great therapy. You will encounter people that you would never encounter otherwise. I mean, how many times it just doesn't happen? So,
I know that for me, I had a bass boat and I was fishing bass tournaments.
Oh yeah.
And so, that was a great tool for people within my community, invite somebody, go, somebody else spend time with the pastor if they're going to go fishing, and so, had that. And then the opportunity again, like you said, strike up conversations. Mm-hmm. And then as I fished in like a local club, I was around more non-believers in that time than anything else I did. I mean, really was not around, as a pastor, you're not around non-believers very much at all, or at least,
and you're too easily
so it's another
branded.
Thought there, right?
You're too easily stereotyped,
Yes.
Tell me about your bass boat.
Well, it's sold now. So
as is
kids
mine.
came along, had to sell, but yeah, I had a big Skeeter, and so yeah,
I had a 19-foot Cajun with a 150 Merc.
Oh yeah,
and buddy, that thing was solid. Oh boy, 75 miles an hour, no problem, except paying for the gas.
I know. I fished a tournament at Big Lake, and I ran wide open all the way across the lake and got down there, and I realized, I didn't fill up today, and out of the 2 tanks, I was out of fuel. Fortunately, they had a gas station there. Mm-hmm. I could fill up on the way back.
Right.
So.
Yeah. How much is gas where you're at now?
Oh, I don't even want to look. I think it's up like 250. I think somewhere in there. Yeah.
People used to ask me that question a while back, and I'd say it's always been $10. I could never afford more than $10 of gas. It's $10.
It's just hop along. Yeah. So only reason I know is because my wife times it where I'll use her car on the I drive her car to church. And it never fails. When I get in it, I got to fill it up, right? I mean, I hope she's listening because she times it like that, right?
Mm-hmm. It's like having teenagers. Same thing. My wife will, take my car to work. Right. I know why. Yeah. It's out of gas. Always. I think if I didn't drive it, once a week, it would it's our duty as husbands to do that. All right. Well, we're out of time. What do you want to end up on?
Hey, if someone's out there and would like the chance to attend, go to faiththatlast.com. If you do it, recommend it to some others. Like I said, it's free until August 5th, so that Easter date there, just a great opportunity. And then it will also not only be available live, but it'll be continually available for the next 30 days after the event. But just a different way of thinking about intentionally parenting that looking ahead so that we do things now to get to that point.
All right. We're looking forward to next month. Now, apparently you did not get the memo that Gorilla Glue is not good for your hair. You might.
Oh, is it showing? Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
no, man.
Yeah, if you get on YouTube, you can look that up and avoid some of the complications you're having with your hair. But you don't even know. You don't know what you don't know, Jake. It's anyway.
Yeah, that's fine.
We love you, brother, and congratulations, by the way, on losing some weight. And I hope I'm sure that you do feel better. You sleep better, more energy. It's on my whiteboard to put my pull-up bar that I got for Christmas out, install it between the posts, and
Yes,
so
yes.
Things are about to get serious here. And,
All right. Well, next month, I'll hold you accountable. See how
There you go.
after you did.
All
Yeah,
right.
make sure I'm maintaining.
All right, we'll do it, Jake. Appreciate you, brother. Love what you're doing. Keep doing it, man.
Great. Always.
All right. Well, there we are, folks. Jake McCandless once a month, always here on pjnet.tv. And there is the view atop the Eagle's Nest broadcast facilities here at pjnet.tv. Well, folks, the fun is not over. We have another program coming up at the bottom of the hour, and it will be Dale Didway. And it's been great to have this pre-recorded session. I get to take a little break, I guess, as I watch this play. As we leave, I would like to challenge you to ask yourself 2 questions. And I think they're very important. See what you think. First, what is the boldest thing that you have ever done for Jesus Christ? The second question is, how long ago was that? I hope none of us will be satisfied with either answer.